Hello, my name is Erin Dahl. This is my presentation on our elementary school counseling program. First, a little background on our school. We are rural elementary and junior senior high school. There is one counselor for the elementary school. The elementary school has about 600 students, and there's one social worker for that same school. Same for the high school. There's one counselor for the junior senior high school, which is around 400, and one social worker for the junior senior high school. Which means that for a corporation, there are around 1,000 students. And then that also means that there are way too many students for the correct ratio of student to school counselors. So that's what, right off the bat, that is one of our weaknesses with our program. Some of the strengths. We do have direct student services. The direct student services that we have on a large scale are character ed lessons in the elementary school. The elementary counselor will do lessons that are about 40 minutes each for grades, grades K through 3. This year we have added on K through 4. These are every day. She meets with one class from each grade level. So every grade level has a 40-minute class. My particular class will only meet with her once a week for 40 minutes. They do lessons such as emotional learning lessons. This is when they do some of their college and career readiness lessons. My fourth graders just recently had quite a few lessons on college and career paths. It became a school-wide thing with the teachers posting which college or university they attended, and the students got to ask questions and could survey. They did a scavenger hunt around the building to see who had worked at which ones, and which ones were Indiana, which ones were out of state, those kind of things, just to make students aware, as well as the lessons for what kind of majors you might want to go into or what trade schools you might want to go into. So they do hit those college career readiness standards. They also do small groups. She will sometimes meet, like as an example, we had some fourth grade girls last year who would be getting along fine for about 5-10 minutes of recess, and then all of a sudden there was a big cat fight. And this seemed to be a consistent issue with the same group of girls. So our school counselor started meeting with them once a week. It was during their lunchtime. They got to bring their lunch down to her office, and they would sit and they would eat and they'd talk. And she would give them some lessons on how to better include social interactions, whether they wanted to play with a student or not, how to handle that respectfully. And she will do this with any students that are having some issues. She will also meet one-on-one with students if it's teacher recommended or parents request. Another strength is that she does have an annual administrative meeting with the principal every year in the summer before school officially starts. She does have that. She will give the principal a Google Doc with all of the topics that she's going to cover throughout the year. So she has an annual calendar. And in the last few years, I have definitely seen the elementary start to have a better understanding of the boundaries on appropriate and inappropriate duties. We used to have the school counselor step in to substitute, to run notes at the end of the day, to not just talk to students about tardies, but to give them tardy slips and things like that. And just in the last few years, she has started, there has been a reduction in those inappropriate duties. She does still run notes at the end of the day, but it's not consistent. It's when our normal note runner might be gone or in a meeting. In the elementary school, the school counselor is on committees such as the MTSS, that's multi-tiered systems of support, and she's on the school improvement team. She was instrumental when we had COVID and the few years returning from that. We needed some social emotional learning lessons school-wide. She is the one who helped research and decide upon the correct program to use. And she helped us learn how to use it. It was Choose Love. And it was stair-stepped for each grade level with the appropriate lessons, the appropriate kinds of videos, discussions that classroom teachers could have so that there was a whole school-wide reaching out to students. This is, or could be considered, her mission and vision statements. She does not actually have them labeled as such. We have the elementary one right here. The school counselor at the high school did not have one. So she says her overall role of an elementary school counselor is to support students and families in a variety of ways in order to help students achieve success in the academic setting. Please contact me anytime with questions or concerns. Times of transition, moving, separation, divorce, illness, death of loved one, remarriage, new sibling, job loss, military deployment are difficult for the entire family and often impact a child's school performance or behavior. She does say her role is to help the whole child succeed through the promotion of student engagement and learning, positive school culture, and college and career readiness and success. While these look to be vision and mission statements, they are not at all labeled as such, and she does not seem to have them listed anywhere else. This was on the school website. Some of the weaknesses. As I said before, the ratio of students to counselors. There are almost 600 students in the elementary school for the one school counselor, and there are about 400 in the junior senior high school. She does have a lesson plan. She shared lesson plan example with me, so we'll take a look at that. And this, while it does have some strengths, it does have some very severe weaknesses, some missing parts completely. So the first thing, as you can see on this size of problem versus the size of reaction, she does not have any standards listed. So we don't know, looking at this lesson, we don't know what standards she is addressing. So if she looks at this lesson plan next year, she may or may not remember what standards it was supposed to address. It does not have what we call lesson objectives, the student I can statements. None of those are listed here. Then we get to the actual lesson part, and it tells you the the questions you're supposed to ask. This is a link to a specific video. Tells you a little bit of the topic that you're supposed to be discussing, but there's really no step-by-step instruction. So if she happened to be absent and somebody else needed to give this lesson, nothing would be there for them. And then if she looks at this next year, she does not have any notes on what or how she's supposed to address and begin the lesson, administer the lesson. It's just video questions. It does not have any suggestions on what she's looking for in the answers to these questions. If you see, it is just one video after the other with questions. And then she does not have any assessment listed. I'm assuming she would do an assessment in class. When discussing this with the principal, there was no mention of any data collection. And this lesson shows that there is no data collection being done, or at least no formalized data collection being done. So that is definitely a weakness in here. And that would be an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for her to be able to see year to year how the lesson goes, and also to see how it impacts the students that particular year. So then, continuing on, communication with teachers. There is very little communication with teachers on what she does, what she would like from, what any kind of assistance she would like from the teachers. I know that a lot of teachers do not understand what her job is. They see her in her office a lot alone. So there are some grumbles about the fact that she does not seem to do much outside of her actual classes, which I'm sure is not the case. Just looking at the small groups that she does and the peer interactions that she has, there is a lot going on, but you could not tell that from discussion with other teachers in the building. And along those lines, she has no advisory council. It is all on her, which, as we have seen, first of all, that makes her responsible for everything, which puts a lot on her plate. It also does not give any of the teachers or any of the parents in the community any sort of say or advice into what they feel needs to be addressed with their students. So that would be an area in which she could have an opportunity for growth and community connection. As I said previously, there is no data driving the program. The principal said that she does get a document with the plan for the year and what topics are being covered, but she does not get any information on assessments. So that would be some area where she could take an opportunity to get some data and start using that and showing that to the principal to get some buy-in more from the principal, as well as possibly the teachers. Also, there are some administrative duties. As I said, the school counselor in the elementary does still pass out notes at the end of the day, which it is, as they have said in our readings, is acceptable, but is still not an appropriate use of time. It could be in that 20% of time, but it would be better if she had some other things to do. She also does bus duty at the end of the day. The high school counselor, she's still printing report cards, sorting report cards, and getting them to the homeroom teachers. So that would definitely be an area of improvement at the high school. As I said, some opportunities that we have would be obviously to get some data going and have that data to drive her program, as well as to show to parents and administration as to the good that her program is doing and get some buy-in from them. Another one would be students from low socioeconomic backgrounds. We do have quite a few of those in our classroom. She is heading up the brown bags, which is where we send home food with certain students on Fridays. So she could be more involved with that or other programming around helping those students. Working with outside medical counselors. She has, when I was shadowing our principal, she did have the opportunity to suggest that the parent sign a waiver, a release form, to let our school counselor talk with the professional counselor of a student. And so those are some opportunities that she can take on in order to help our students better and better understand what needs they have. Sitting in on IEPs as an administrator proxy. She does this with the speech programs, but it would also be good if she sat in on some of the programs for students with learning disabilities or other needs in the classroom. Communication with parents on a more regular basis would be a good opportunity for her to take. She just sends a monthly newsletter, and it is a few paragraphs in the same newsletter as the entire corporation. So it would be an area where she could improve and send home some more personalized communication. And collaboration with the social worker. We do have 2 social workers, one in each building, and working with them and collaborating with them on how to better help our students would be helpful. Threats to the program. Parents' feelings towards counselors. There have been several parents who resent when their child's talking to the school counselor. And so then sometimes the students are also reluctant to talk to the school counselor. So working on the relationship with parents and them understanding exactly what she's there for would be helpful. Also budget. There's always the possibility that the budget would not allow for her to continue her job or the social worker. So it would be one of those things to keep an eye on. Overall, our school counselor has some good points. She does have some strong lessons. As you saw, she has some good questioning going on in her lessons. She just has a few areas where meeting the structure and the rigor in order to have a comprehensive program could be